Hey all you YouTube fans, it's Librous Blood here, and we're back for another episode of Notch, the Innocent Luna, Eclipsed Sinners. Hopefully that sounds right. Hopefully that's not too loud. I'm playing around with my mic. So, yeah. The great thing about a mic with ridiculous amounts of gain, it picks up everything. Unless you figure out the right setting. I'm hoping this one is the right one. So, if I could figure out how it is that this game refuses under all circumstances to save my settings to where the music is at this level or lower. It will be like years down the line. Sorry, gotta adjust in my seat. It'll be so many years down the line in which I actually figure out or solve the mystery of how in the hell this happens. Every week, every episode, for anything I do. Or not every... Yeah, every time I load up this game. It is a pain in my ass. Alright, so, we're back. Let me get back to the title screen. So we're back. Last time... Every week. I kid you not. Every week. Oh my gosh. So. Where's the clock, timer? Oh my gosh. 3 minutes have probably already passed. Joys. So, we're going to continue. It is 4:16, 5:15. This one. What? Oh my. Yes, I would like to. This new mouse that I have, guys, is beyond frustrating because it is a gaming mouse. Like literally, I think it's only designed to play game like MOBAs or stuff like that. Because the wheel does not work. Like that's not how an actual wheel would work. Like it's not even connected with any electronics. It's just there to be there. So, and literally, I have to have my hands like this on the mic. It is ridiculous. Like, I don't know. The only thing that frustrates me more than this mic is our protagonist, because now we're in this situation. Literally, we went from being kind of stupid to very ignorant to even more ignorant and now inappropriate because we took the time to say in this situation in our heads that our childhood crush was cute, even though we're in a situation where both of us might die. Case in point, Nanami is now giving us the ultimatum that she wants us to kill her. But yeah, we take the time to say when she's crying and standing in a pool of someone else's blood. Let that sit for a moment. Someone else's blood. Not her own. Someone else who has already been killed. Dismembered, actually. Because all the limbs were separated around wherever. It was a dismembered body in a pile of just goo and blood in a singular spot. And Nanami is standing on it. which first is just disgusting beyond belief. I would be very shocked, I guess, and would not want to move if I saw that as a normal average person, I suppose. Let me make sure that my mic is actually, yes, my mic is on. It's really hard to tell with my boom because I don't know, seeing through layers is weird. It just makes it look like it's off. But yeah, our character's so dumb. No offense to the developers, like always, but like even though that makes it sound like more offense, because if you say no offense, you obviously know that there can be some offense that can be perceived from it, even if the other person could see it without it. But oh well, we're continuing.
Libris, please. Kill me.
So this is the ultimatum we were given last time. Don't you just love us? I have to be very careful using this mic because this can screw up this entire game.
What?
Of course, lightning.
Libris, kill me. Please. I am trapped in here. Nanami, I promise I will get you out of here. Trust me.
I feel like the protagonist's voice actually got higher since last time. But yeah, so just getting used to this new surrounding, and apparently now I found that the place I put my table is uneven, or my table's legs are broken, so like it's shaking, which is bad for the mic because it kind of wavers the sound. So I gotta like lean into everything. Yeah. Hopefully, like if you guys noticed for episode 12 of Always Remember Me, which that series is almost done, by the way. If you haven't checked it out, please do go look at it. If this is your first video, I actually should say this from now on. If people who watch me and Hawk's podcast, whoever watches or listens to the 360 podcast or 360 Perspective podcast that I do with Hawk from Infinity HD Productions, yeah, if any of you are watching for the first time and you just click on one of the videos and this is your first one, which I should start taking note of that is a possibility, please do check the prior videos to understand a little bit more of what I'm talking about, because I do give a few like very short summaries about the games at the start of each of the videos, but I can only do so much in a few seconds, so we can actually get some gameplay in. But yeah.
No, I'm trapped in here.
Oh, right, I didn't get to the point for the thing I said before. Yeah, so I'm playing around with things like for the last video I did yesterday. I think I recorded and uploaded in the same day, which is very surprising. It's very rare in the past, but now it's an easier thing to do because the videos aren't ridiculously long to edit down. Which is just by sheer luck, actually. It really is by sheer luck. Oh, that is my necklaces. But yeah, so hopefully you guys notice now I have the video feed a little bit better this time. It's not ridiculous. Last time it was really bad. Alright. I remember the line.
No. I'm trapped in here. So, please, kill me. Nanami.
No, I feel like that's, yeah. I don't, it'll depend on the situation. I might do the doot 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 or whatever sound, or I'll just do. depending on the situation, just for sake of tone. I feel like a gasp at that point would make more sense.
Nanami, what the hell is she talking about? I also have to be very careful for my mic, actually. Never mind, I can switch it back to... actually, you know what? No, we're just gonna record in cardioid today. That voice actually switched to Nanami's a little bit. Nanami, what the hell is she talking about? Kill her? Could I? Is the maniac in this house not...
If we were actually playing as the maniac... Alright, let me actually be careful and mindful that my mic is on. There we go. If we were actually the killer, roaming, and we actually just had split personality like, what is the... Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. If it were one of those situations, then I guess, maybe... Don't know exactly, but maybe, just maybe, I would buy it. But I feel like that's too much of a cop-out this early in the game. And I also feel that the way our character is structured, it is too vastly different from one another that I would not be able to believe it. But it would be interesting, to say the least.
When asked more questions, she keeps repeating those words. It appears that I have to decide what to do on my own.
Okay, so this is actually a very difficult choice. Because you can make the argument either way. If you love her, let her go. You know, if you love something, let it go. Because clearly if she's saying, leave me here, I'm trapped here, please kill me, she's already made the decision in her mind that there's no happy ending for you guys. There's not going to be that happy ending. You have to either leave her, or you take her away forcibly against her will. In this case, we're going to respect her decision. She's not whore, but her decision. I fumble words so easily. Oh gosh, this is gonna be a really long, arduous path to becoming a professional entertainer, actor, whatever I really choose my future. But yeah, so we're going to respect her decisions, and we're going to leave her here because she's already admitted, I'm trapped here. Whatever, you know, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. We're damned if we take her, because then that's not what she wants, and something worse than death might happen. And we're damned if we don't take her, and we choose to kill her, or we just leave her there, and then she's trapped forever in this space for unknowable reasons. But taking into consideration every element that we've encountered to this point, the non-existent ground, the lack of time within this place in which it looks like it's night outside from the inside, but it's blindingly bright outside and like daytime, but night at the same time. We're so high up in the air, we can't see the ground. This corridor continuously goes on and on forever, perpetually, with no end in sight. There are so many different rooms that look the same. We constantly hear random people screaming in this house. You know, they're screaming bloody murder. There's a killer who's, unbeknownst to us, we don't know where the hell they are. We don't know what they want. But unbeknownst to us, they're just continuously killing these random people in this house. We don't know. We don't even know if we're in a house or in a manor. There's no information to tell us where this foreseeable danger is. And randomly, we happen to follow a shadow of our childhood sweetheart, who isn't our sweetheart, our childhood crush. That's a better way of putting it. But we have our childhood crush who we followed their shadow, and she just told us that she is not allowed to leave this room, and she's standing above a dismembered body, which tells us one of two things. Either A, she is a ghost, and that is her body, and we're just seeing the apparition of her sorrow in the fact that she was brutally murdered. Or there's a supernatural being who's decided to, I don't know, something must have happened to her in which she cannot leave this space. And I don't want to play around with the supernatural if she is a ghost and forcibly take her away from this spot where she died. I'm also not going to try to kill her, because then that creates another problem, and we're no different than the killer. Even killing to put something out of its misery, still killing. I think the best option for us is to leave here.
Nanami, you really don't want to leave here with me. Oh wait, Nanami, you really don't want to leave here with me? No, I don't want to leave. Because it's too late.
Oh shit.
If you don't want to go with me, I have to leave you here alone.
Oh! Hold on. Alright, hold on. There we go.
Do you want to go with me? No.
I have to be like so... I hate this mouse. Okay. What? What kind of reaction is that? Okay, I'm gonna say it in the tone that I think this should be said. The only way you can say something like this to somebody in this situation.
Oh, okay then. Bye. Bye.
And I know they sound so eerily similar in the way I'm doing their voices. It's really hard to like differentiate, because like
Nanami.
I actually like that voice for him. Her voice might change. I actually like his voice because it's kind of like skittish.
Plus, I don't want to do this voice the whole time.
I think this one works. Oh, I regret my decision the moment I exit the room.
That was the best decision you had.
Nanami grew up with me. I can't believe I walked away on her. Although she didn't want to leave, if I insisted on taking her with me, she may have come along.
No, she wouldn't. Do not go back in the room. Okay, good.
Regretting my choice, I walk ahead for a really long period of time and finally make it to the end of the corridor.
I think I was making his voice too close to Nanami's. I don't think I was actually... I think I got confused between Nanami and his voice at a certain point. Oh, shit! I have not seen this before. There was an end. Well, peace out, Nanami. We actually got the fuck out.
Outside the building is a sparse forest. The rain is pouring, and the few withered trees around the building reek with an atmosphere of gloom. I suddenly want to see what the building looks like, so I turn around and look back at it.
See, why?
But I only see gloomy darkness and can't even see its outline clearly. The only thing I know for sure is the building is very grand and grand. After all, I have walked forever in it.
See, here's the other thing. No questioning. I don't understand this for this protagonist. We don't question the fact that, I don't know, we don't really question this at all in the fact that we just affirmed that there was no ground in sight from where we were just moments ago. We never said that we went downstairs. We just kept going down a corridor. We never said we ever found stairs. So it was one long corridor, and we finally find an exit. A lot of this is not lining up logically, and it shouldn't, because this is like a really kind of not really there kind of moment, almost, in how fantasy-esque it is. It's a very fanciful situation. It's really weird. But I guess it makes all the sense in the world for our protagonist. My 2 cents.
The only thing I know for sure is the building is very grand. After all, I have walked forever in it. How did I come here? Who brought me here? I need to figure these things out, but time is ticking away. I need to find a place to spend the night, and that creepy room isn't an option.
Oh, finally, a sensible thing. Our protagonist finally said a very sensible thing.
It's better to walk ahead.
Into the creepy forest. Literally, we're going from one horrible situation to another in terms of horror situations. We went from the creepy manor or house or whatever in which there are multiple torture rooms, or supposed torture rooms. Now we're walking into a deep, dark, creepy forest with withered trees in the rain, which also is like a thunderstorm. So we're walking in a thunderstorm underneath withered trees in a dark, creepy, foggy kind of creepy forest.
We're not really smart. I feel a little lonely. I should have taken her with me, but now it's too late. I continue walking.
Sensible.
Nanami, sorry. You'll be fine. Oh yeah, I don't know why I keep making his voice so deep. Nanami, sorry. You'll be fine. Please, forgive me for leaving you alone in that creepy room. I'm still praying for Nanami and hope she's okay in that building.
But yeah, no, me and Hawk talked about this a while back about horror situations, but we both mutually agreed this is the option that we would choose. If one of us said, like, we can't get out, like, we're chained up so heavily that there's no way you can get us out in time before the killer finds both of us. Leave me and try to go find help in time before I die. If not, you know what? You prevent more murders because you get the cops to show up to the place and they stop them for good. In life, there are hard choices. There's always going to be hard choices in life. And in video games like this, they give you really hard choices. That was a really hard choice. Leave our childhood friend or childhood crush to die in this place potentially, and respect their wishes that, you know, they don't want to leave with us. They can't leave this space for whatever reason, unbeknownst to us, or we disrespect their wishes and choose to stay and or try to get them to leave with us and end up killing both of us. See, there's not a lot of good options, but you take it as you go.
After a few steps, I realize I'm walking on something soft and sticky. I suddenly have a bad feeling. I bend down immediately to check it. Nami? I see her blood-stained clothes and some cut-up organs in a pile. It reminds me of the remains in that room. Nami? Did she come to a bad end just like this? Who the hell did this? Monster! What a monster! I recall every moment I was with Nanami in that room. She was helpless and crying. Clearly, she asked for my help back then. But I abandoned her there in the end. I'm such a fool. A monster. Nanami, I could have saved her. My indifference killed her. Sorry, Nanami. I'm sorry. Standing in the rain, I feel deep regret. I burst into tears. When I wake up, I'm wet with cold sweat. Opening my eyes, I see neither the gloomy and winding room nor the sparse forest under rain. I'm so relieved to find myself in my familiar bedroom. I sit on my bed and collect my thoughts. All the terrible experiences flash back in my head. Clear scenes emerge in my head. I keep sweating on the thought of the horror and blood. It's okay. It was just a nightmare. Now everything is over.
I wish he would have said dark nightmare. Make it really meta right there. But yeah, it was a dream. It explains a lot of the elements going on, and we're gonna continue a little bit further. This video will be pushing 30 minutes at most, so we're gonna continue a little bit till I find a good stopping point. But yeah, so it was a dream. It explains a lot of elements that happened, but we're gonna go and I'll explain it a little later. I keep comforting myself. Pulling open the curtains, I see tranquil and beautiful scenery, which really comforts me. With the sunlight shining in my room, my head gradually wakes up from the nightmare, and all the terrible scenes fade away. Luckily,
it was just a dream.
We're gonna take this spot to end off today. Just because I feel like that's the best way. It doesn't lead up to another sentence. Logically, another sentence is coming up after this because this is actually a very long game, which is why I picked it. Unfortunately, the chapters are ridiculously long, so I'm going to stop putting in the chapter blank, and then like episode whatever, like this would be episode 4. I'm not gonna put Dark Nightmare chapter 1 Dark Nightmares or Dark Nightmare part 3, because I feel like there's gonna be a lot of parts. I actually looked back to see the timestamp for my last playthrough of this and how long it took me to get from Dark Nightmare to the next chapter, and it was quite a while. So logically for me, I don't feel like it is in my best interest for this series going onwards to keep labeling the episodes that way. But yeah, so we made a lot of hard decisions in the nightmare. And I think that was the purpose designed for it. This might run a little over 30 minutes. But that's just so we can go for a recap of what's so far happened. But I feel like the way that the chapter was introduced, that I feel like that was the intended purpose for the nightmare aspect, for why it was called Dark Nightmare, because it was very gloomy, very dreary. There was not a lot of hope. There weren't a lot of bright colors. There were a lot of the tones were muted. It was really just this situation of hopelessness and non-existent escape. And even when we did escape the manor in the end, we still ended up losing a piece of ourselves or a part of our past, and there was something that was just so lost at that moment, which is very interesting. It's a very interesting way to do it. I don't know. It was just very interesting, to say the least, in how they chose to title the chapter and what it served. It served its purpose, because the quote that went with it, or the phrase that went with it, was "the day we ceased to exist." And in and of itself, Nanami ceased to exist in that nightmare. We don't know if that was the real Nanami that we were speaking to for the last episode, or the last 2 episodes, including this one. Like this episode and last episode, we don't know if that was the real Nanami that we were actually speaking to. On top of that, we also don't know, who the other body was, because it wasn't Nanami. We found Nanami outside the manor, or at least we think we found Nanami outside the manor. We found somebody with similar clothes to her, which is not very uncommon. But, there are 2 bodies. One of them has to be Nanami's. And, that's one of the things, the day we cease to exist. Another interpretation of it, I guess, would be the day that our personality ceased to exist. We made a lot of decisions I feel like the protagonist, I guess, would not have made. The protagonist would have not left that person in the room. They would have probably barged in, tried to help them, even if it meant dying. Or did we barge into the room? No, we didn't barge into the room. I want to say that was the decision we made. If not, please let me know in the comments. But the decision went going forward or going into the room to help the person who screamed like they were dying. The decision to end up still following the shadow, the decisions of what to do with Nanami. There's so many decisions that we made in these first few episodes where it kind of, I feel, broke whatever whatever the main character usually does. It broke their normal habits. So so far this is a really good game. The chapter is very properly named. Very properly named. And I know we're nowhere near, or actually not, I shouldn't say that. We are near the end of this chapter. To my knowledge, I think there's only one or two more things that we have to do in this chapter. So there should be only one more episode, if not two, in which we will continue to be in chapter 1. I wish it had segments like it should, like how I have been trying to do it with the names. Depending on how the next episode goes, I might decide to stop doing the part whatever, but I guess for now it makes it a little bit easier to follow, as if it were segments in that chapter, or like that overarching part of a series, like that arc or story line. But yeah, we have gone a lot further over time than I thought we would. So I'm going to go ahead and end it off here. Thank you all so much for taking the time to watch this. If this was your first series, thank you so much for watching up to this point. Please do go back, check out the prior episodes of Notch. I would greatly appreciate it. If you did like this video, please do click that like button down below. It would just warm my heart if you did that. If you want to be even more awesome, please do click subscribe to see a little bit more of this content and more of these in-depth conversations about the actual game. So yeah, other than that, I think that's it. If you have any tips, tricks, comments, questions, concerns, anything and everything under the sun and the moon, because this is still a horror game, even though that's a very pretty kind of background. But if you have any questions or anything you want to just tell me, please use that comment section down below. It is your best friend and your best way of communicating with me. And yeah, thank you all so much. This is Librous Blood, and I'm signing out.